This is a cozy little spot. I like this. Hello everybody, it's Delilah and welcome back to my channel. We are all recovering from a round of sickness that went through our house, and so you have the pleasure of listening to my nasally voice today. I feel good, I just don't sound that great, so I hope that's not too annoying. Today's video is a little bit different than what I have been sharing recently. I've been thinking a lot about what I want to share this year. What types of videos I want to do. I just feel like I've come to a point now where I've been doing this thing for 5 years. I feel like I've touched on every topic under the sun concerning motherhood, and I feel like I have nothing left to share. But I know that's not true. It's just where I'm at right now. I'm kind of at a standstill. I'm stumped. And so I was looking back at videos that I had been wanting to film a long time ago. I had like a list of video ideas. I remember about a year ago I had thought about filming this video and I just never did, so here we are today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 things that I regret as a first-time mom. 10 mistakes that I feel like I made and learned so much from. So this isn't a video where I'm just gonna be sitting here and sulking about the mistakes I made and things that I regret. That is not what this is. This is me telling you the mistakes that I made in hopes that you don't make these mistakes. And now we're all gonna make mistakes. We're all going to regret something that we did, or a way that we thought, or something that we said. And the beautiful things that we learn from those moments. And I think it's really important to look back, to recognize those mistakes, and to make changes going forward, and always use those mistakes to make ourselves a better person, a better mother. So I sat down and I wrote down 10 things off the top of my head that I have regretted over the last 5 years of being a mom. I'm gonna share those with you today. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, or turn this video on and go do dishes, go do laundry, go do something and listen to this as a podcast. That's kind of my intention with videos like this, is that you can listen to it while you do stuff, because I know as moms, sometimes that's the only way that you can watch a video. Or at least that's how it is for me. We're gonna start this video off way back, about 5 years ago, when I was pregnant with my daughter. The first mistake, my first regret, is that I took my healthy pregnancy for granted. My first pregnancy was so easy. I had very little sickness. I had very little pain. It was just like dream pregnancy, the pregnancy that every woman wishes she had. I mean, it was just textbook pregnancy, and I took it for granted. I did not realize how fortunate I was to have such an easy pregnancy. That's first-time mom naiveness. I really had no idea of complications that can occur in pregnancy and pain that can occur in pregnancy. And since then, over my last 2 pregnancies, I have experienced a number of situations and complications, and I realized how much I really took that first pregnancy for granted. Once I hit like 36 weeks, all I wanted was for it to be over. All I wanted was for that baby to be out of me, and I no longer enjoyed myself whatsoever, and I regret that. I wish I would have stopped and enjoyed that, because you know what? She came 10 days early, and I found myself missing pregnancy like literally a week later. Number 2, I regret not educating myself on pain management techniques or breathing techniques during labor. I didn't take any classes. The only information I had was literally from watching birth vlogs. And while those are very educational and very helpful, it didn't prepare me for the pain of natural labor. And now my daughter, she came so fast. My labor was 2.5 hours from start to finish, and I had no idea what was happening during that time. I was caught completely off guard by the pain. It went from like 5 to 10 in a matter of seconds, and I just remember not knowing what to do with myself. And so I wish beforehand I had researched different ways that I could manage pain naturally. I mean, when it comes to birth itself, you can't really prepare yourself, because it's something that you can't prepare yourself until you go through it. Like, you just don't know what to expect until you've experienced it. I did educate myself on like the technicalities of birth and the terms and the stages you'll go through and stuff like that, but to actually experience it, That's something you can't educate yourself on. But pain management techniques, that would have been really beneficial. This helped me tremendously in my second labor. My second labor was only 1.5 hours long, so it was crazy. But that breathing technique that I was using through contractions just helped so much. And even for future pregnancies and births, hopefully, Lord willing, I want to educate myself even further. I want to look into hypnobirthing and things like that, because I've heard incredible things about different techniques that I really would love to try. Okay, stepping out of birth and pregnancy, we're getting into the mom stuff now. So the first thing that I really regret is not asking for help or not accepting help. When my daughter was born, I was offered so much help from our parents. I mean, she was the first one on both sides, and so our parents were thrilled and had a lot of time on their hands and wanted to come and wanted to help and wanted to be there and help. And even family friends, church friends, they offered to come and to help clean or to watch Eloise while I showered, things like that. And I always turned it down. And I still struggle with stuff like this, especially when it comes to like someone coming into my home and preparing a meal in my kitchen or cleaning my home or doing my laundry. Like, I don't feel comfortable with that. And it's just a me issue. It's something that it's almost like it's embarrassing for me. But I wish I would have sucked it up and said yes, because I could have been in such a better place mentally had I accepted that help. For the first 6 months of my daughter's life, I was not in a good place mentally, and I felt like I was drowning. I didn't know what I was doing. She was colicky, and I should have accepted help. It was right in front of me and I didn't take it, and I regret that so much. Number 4 is a doozy. I regret trying to conform my child to society's standard or society's normal. Here's the thing, every baby is different. Every mom is different. God did not create every human the same. And so everyone's development is different. Everyone's needs are different. Everyone's approach is different. And so trying to conform my child to normal or the standard of what society has placed on babies, so it's just not even a possible thing. And so I have a hard time with our society trying so hard to push our children to reach milestones and to do everything at the same time, because that's just not how it works. Eloise started talking really early, but she was a little bit later to be mobile. My son, he started being mobile a bit early. It took him longer to start talking. I don't know what William is going to be like. I think he's going to be even further behind because he was a preemie, and so he is just going to take longer. I'm noticing this with his eating. He isn't eating as much as soon as my other kids, and that's okay. Every kid will develop differently, and there is no point in trying to get our child to meet a certain milestone by a certain age. There's no reason to stress over stuff like that. What is normal anyway? Number 5 is I regret sweating the small stuff. 5 years ago, I just had my daughter. I was being wheeled to the recovery room, and the nurse hands me a chart. And she says, keep track of every time your baby poops, every time your baby pees, write down when they eat, how much they eat, how long they eat for. So new mom here, recovering from giving birth, trying to learn how to breastfeed, how to take care of an infant, how to properly change diapers and how to properly give them baths and how to properly swaddle and take care of them. And I was told that they have to meet all of these things by a certain time, and keep track of all of these little things was so overwhelming and so stressful for me. Long story short, I just regret sweating that small stuff. And it wasn't just those beginning charting things that I'm talking about. I'm talking about in all areas of motherhood. When they start to eat, thinking, oh, I don't think they're eating enough, or need to eat a full meal before they can eat dessert. I need to make sure they have a really good, healthy, balanced diet. I need to make sure that we go for walks every single day. When it comes down to it, it doesn't matter, and I wish I would have let go so much sooner. Number 6, I regret not surrounding myself with other moms immediately, even before giving birth. I was a young mom. I was 20 when I had Eloise. I was the first person out of all of my friends. I was the first person on both sides of our family. The only other people around me who were having babies at the same time were a couple other people in our church. And I was still pretty new to the church, and so I never really made the effort to really get to know them or to be friends, and I just felt so alone. And being a first-time mom, I had no idea what I was doing, and the adjustment from working to being at home all day by myself, not even being able to go out and see anyone because everyone else I knew was working while I was at home with Eloise during the day, was very lonely and isolating. I went to my mom and Zach's mom a lot for advice, and that's an incredible place to go to advice. My mom is like my best friend. I talk to her all the time about everything. It's so important to also surround yourself with people who are going through what you're going through as you're going through it together. I ended up becoming pretty close with one of Zach's cousins, actually, who had a baby a few months before I did. And being able to talk to her about things I was going through, and then hearing that she had just gone through it and what she did and how she got through it and what she was doing, was so helpful for me and helped me so much. And so it was really important to find mom friends. And for someone like me who is an introvert, that was really hard. Not something that comes naturally for me. I'm not someone who's going to reach out to someone and create a friendship, start a friendship. That's just not who I am, but I wish I would have pushed myself a little more. Number 7, I regret not educating myself on the first year of baby's development. I mean, there's just so much that I had to figure out the hard way as I was going through it. A whole bunch of things that I never anticipated or expected, like sleep regressions or leaps or baby-led weaning. All of these things, these firsts that I never expected them. I never anticipated them. I thought, I've babysat before. I know how to take care of a kid. No. That first year of baby's life, they go through so much growth and development, and there's such a shift from newborn stage to 1 year of age. Like, there's so much that happens in between there that I was not prepared for, and I did not know what to expect or what was going to happen or what to do when the time came. And so I really wish I would have educated myself. Number 8, I regret not listening to my child's cues. Now, this applies to a lot of different things, starting with sleepy cues, reading my child's sleepy cues to know when they're tired. I never really paid attention to that, and I kind of just put them on a schedule, and the schedule wasn't working because at that point they were overtired and overstimulated and had a hard time going to sleep. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. Turns out the answer was real simple. All I had to do was watch for my child's sleepy cues to find out when they were sleepy, and then they went to bed no problem. Another example is eating. Letting them tell you when they're done. I grew up with the mentality of you finish what's on your plate at mealtime, and if you don't get dessert. Being raised that way, that's the way that I was trying to raise my children, and especially when they were kids, I was trying to make sure that they ate absolutely everything that I put in front of them, thinking that it was such a waste when they didn't finish their food. But who am I to force feed my child when they're full? They're full. And when they would throw food on the floor, it'd make me angry because I thought it was like an act of defiance. But in reality, all they were doing were telling me, like, I'm full, I don't want to eat anymore. Number 9, this is something I still think about and struggle with and have to remind myself of. I regret expecting my child to act like an adult. The behavior that I expect from my child should not be greater than what I expect of myself or what I am capable of doing. They're going to forget, they're going to make mistakes, they're learning, they're going through stuff. They're not going to sit and watch me do something for an hour until I'm done. I can ask them to be patient and remind them to be patient, but I can't expect them to sit there for an hour while I cook. I mean, like, I'm not even capable of doing that. In that time, I would find something for myself to do. I would entertain myself somehow, or I'd have a conversation, or I'd look on my phone, or I'd read, or like I'd do something. So I can't expect my child to just sit there and watch. They need stimulation. They need stuff to do. They're not capable of just sitting for an hour and watching me do something. I have to really lower my standard of what I expect from my child, because it's ridiculous for me to think that they will behave the same, if not better, than I can. And the last one I regret, and again, this is something I'm still working on, I regret suppressing my child's big feelings. When your child has a tantrum or they're screaming and making a scene, the first thing you want to do is say, shh, stop, right? And it is hard not to say that. It's a battle for me to not try and quickly shush them, especially when we're in public. But that's them expressing their feelings and letting me know that they feel a certain way, and they haven't yet figured out how to gain control of their emotions and work through them. So instead of trying to suppress their emotions and suppress their feelings, I now try to teach them how to manage those big feelings. I never want my child to be afraid or to be hesitant to come to me when they are upset with something. And that starts at a really early age. If I'm constantly trying to suppress the big emotions or the big feelings that they're feeling right now, why would they come to me in the future when they're dealing with something big that's causing a lot of big emotions and big feelings? And what am I teaching them by trying to suppress their feelings? I'm teaching them to hide their emotions and to leave it bottled up. That's not healthy. It can be really hard some days when there are many big emotions from multiple children, including myself. But in those moments, we really need to use them as teaching moments and teach them how to effectively and safely express and manage those big feelings. That is everything for today's video. I hope this challenged you and made you think, and I hope that maybe you can learn something from the mistakes that I made. My goal with this video was to really challenge you and to get you thinking, and leave a comment down below. Let me know something that you regret as a first-time mom. What is a mistake that you made that you wish you hadn't, and what lesson did you learn from it? We are all constantly growing and changing and learning, and I think it's really important to share our experiences and our journeys and to help one another along the way and to support one another. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know if there's any other topics specifically that you'd like me to touch on, whether it's about marriage or being a wife or homemaker or motherhood. Whatever it is, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.